Hello everyone and welcome to this video. I am Silvana Andrea Matanjoy and today we're going to tell about a family Bob Anderson method called Content and Language Integrated Learning or CLIL. This method helps students learn not only uh, on subjects such as geography, on history, but also on foreign languages such as English or French at the same time. In this video, we'll explain how the LL can help teachers whether new or experience improve their lesson and make learning more fun and interesting for students. Let's get started.
First, do you know what CLIL is? As I mentioned earlier, CLIL is the acronym for Content and Language Integrated Learning. It is a teaching method where subjects like science, history, or geography are taught in a foreign language. For example, instead of teaching geography in your native language, Spanish, we have the opportunity to teach it in English, French, or another language. This method is really useful because it encourages students to learn both the language and the subject content together, according to Claude Hood and Marsh, 2010. CLIL provides a great opportunity for students to improve their language skill while also gain knowledge in different subject areas. As students learn about geography, they practice using the foreign language to talk about weather, math, and other concepts related to the subject. The key idea behind CLIL is that learning a subject in a foreign language makes both the subject and the language more meaningful. Snow 2010 also support the idea that CLIL encourages students to interact with content and language in ways that improve their cognitive and academic language skills.
Okay, my name's Angela Leitihuaca. It's my pleasure to be here to talking to you. It's my turn. By using a foreign language to teach a subject, CLIL creates an immersive environment that benefits students' language learning while gaining knowledge in other areas. In other words, CLIL helps students use the language for real-world uses, such as talking about climate change or describing historical events, rather than just memorizing the words. This makes language learning more useful and interesting. In the other hand, students and teachers will have a pleasant environment in the classroom because CLIL facilitates autonomous and cognitive learning versus collaborative work and learning, basically being a group where both parties can learn. Okay. The next, Laura.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Laura Gomez, and I think for this article, I want to know about the Oliver Meyer 2013. That is a research talk about the CLIL pyramid. It's a tool that helps teachers plan lessons by integrating content, language, and thinking skills. The pyramid has three parts: content, language, and cognition. The first is that the bottom of the pyramid, we find content. This is the subject we want to teach. Can be history or chemistry. The next level is language, where students learn about the words and phrases they need to talk about the subject. And the top of the pyramid, we have the cognition. That this means using critical thinking to understand and discuss about the content. By understanding the content, a student can use what is the key for learn in their daily life. That's it.
Talking about the benefits of CLIL. Many researchers agree that the method helps students learn the language more natural in traditional methods. Students learn a language by who's studying grammar and vocabulary, which is not very useful, but with clear, instead of whose memories, vocabulary, student learn need word in context. For example, in their studying biology in English, they will learn word like photosynthesis and ecosystem while learning the topic itself. When students learn a subject is an language, it's easier for them to remember the word because they see how the language works in real situations. This helps them use the language more confidently in situations. Another benefit is that CLIL helps students develop their tinted with major 2030 explains that learning content in another language forces students to think harder. They have to understand the content and explain in the language they're learning. This is great for building critical thinking skills like problem solving and analysis. For example, in a clear lesson about the environment, a student might look at that discusses problems and come with solutions. Of this helps the entire critical while using the language. CLIL also helps motivate students. When students see that they are learning a subject in a language they care about, it makes the learning feel more real and exciting. They can see how the language fits into the world around them. When a student can tell about something important.
Laura? Sorry, Carolina.
Okay. Thank you. But how do you start using clear in your classroom? I know that it can be quite challenging because teachers need to be prepared and they need to speak the foreign language. And with the education system we have, it is almost impossible because the Minister of Education does equip teachers with the necessary training for foreign language. However, there is a possibility the health student be prepared for the real world, which needs to be causing of needs for better education. When we feel more confident with the language, we can follow the next steps. First, choose relevant topics that the interest students. It doesn't matter the subject. It can be a science, history, geography, or art. The important thing is that you make sure the topic connects to students' lives in some way. 10. Try to use different and against topics of materials. Now, with the interest, it is easier. There are videos, pictures, chats, and event pockets. And their material helps a student understand the content in many ways. And they may learn more from the ideas is for a student to enjoy learning.
Okay, Carolina, thank you. It's also necessary to provide continuous support to students while they are learning. In CLIL, we use scaffolding to have students understand difficult content. For example, you can give the vocabulary lists, pictures, or examples. This support helps a student understand two subjects and learn two language at the same time. Let's take an example. Answer. For example, what if you are teaching history? So you can give students a timeline of historical terms in the foreign language. This makes it easier for them to learn about the content and the language. TLIR also uses task-based learning, which means students do activities like projects or group work interaction and growth to work are really important in this method. By using task-based learning, students can use the language in real situations, okay? In class, students can create a poster or do a presentation about what they have learned. This way, they can interact. They remember that the more they practice, the better they get up using the language in real life. Remember that growth work is so important. It's so important for teaching L2. And we must never forget it. Putting into practice in everyone's tasks, as well as teaching and learning in real education settings.
Okay, thank you. Now we are talking about the challenges for students being exposed to the CLIL method. There are some challenges for students too, like when they struggle to understand difficult words or concepts, but don't worry. If you give them the right support and use clear materials, you can help them succeed. Preparing CLIL lesson can be demanding, but just remember that the benefits are worth it. A student will learn both the subject and the language in a way that helps them keep that they learning for the long term. Okay, for finish, I can say that CLIL is a great method for teaching subject and language together. By using the CLIL pyramid, teachers can create lessons for the challenging student and help them for using the language in the real situation. Plus, it make learning fun and meaningful.
Thank you. Okay. In my opinion, and concluding from my point of view, CLIL, promoting meaningful learning. CLIL doesn't only focus on teaching and language, but on integrating academic content into a real linguistic context. This helps students see language as a functional tool to understand and express concepts, which facilitates more relevant and meaningful learning, improving language proficiency in its four most important skills, such as, for example, in listening, reading, and speaking, okay? Developing cognitive skill, CLIL, encourage critical thinking and problem solving as students must use language to understand and process complex information. And some challenges and consideration despite its benefits, implementing CLIL can present challenges such as the need for highly qualified teachers, adapting appropriate materials, and balancing content mastery and language mastery. In addition, in my opinion, some students may initially feel overwhelmed by the double burden of learning a language and new content at the same time.